Looking good, isn't it? While having a clean, shiny car is nice for driving around town, it also comes with a lot of responsibility. I'm Ashley, and I'd like to welcome you to Rules of the Road. I've had my license for a couple years, and now it's my brother's turn to learn all there is to know about driving. I remember my first few days, weeks, and months behind the wheel, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. So I thought I'd make a video of my brother Adam and a couple of his friends, Molly and Kim, on their journey to obtaining a driver's license. With the help of my dad and the parents of Adam's friends, I'm going to teach you the rules of the road that you need to know to become a safe and skillful driver. Enjoy the ride. Before you even think about getting in your car, you should check the area surrounding it. There may be broken glass nearby, like you see here. There may also be fluid leaks or damage to your tires, among many other potentially dangerous problems. You also want to check around your car for small children or pets. As you're about to see, there's a large area surrounding your car that you just can't see when sitting inside. Okay, Adam, go ahead and jump in the driver's seat. We're going to line up at various spots around the car. One at a time, we'll each walk away, and when you see our feet, we'll stop and mark it with the chalk.
Okay. I see your feet now.
Do this all the way around the car, and then connect the points to show how much can't be seen from the driver's seat.
Wow, that's a lot of space.
Hey, Adam, close your eyes for a few seconds. Okay, Molly, you sit here. Kim, come with me. And Kim, you sit here. Okay, Adam, you can open your eyes. Tell me if you can see Molly or Kim.
I don't see them. Where'd they go?
Get out of the car and take a look around.
I can't believe I couldn't see them. Even though they were sitting, they're still pretty big.
This is why it's important to always look around your car before getting in. You can't just assume you're clear of danger. Try this exercise yourself. You'll be surprised how much you're missing. Now let's take a look under the hood. Adam, go ahead and pop the hood for me.
You got it.
While you don't have to check under your hood before every drive, you should do it regularly. Your owner's manual will tell you how often to check under the hood items. Before driving, you should be able to at least identify the most basic elements under your hood, such as the battery, the oil dipstick, and the radiator.
Why do I have to know these things? Isn't that what mechanics are for?
If your battery dies and all you need is a jump start, then you don't have to pay the towing company unnecessary cash because you already know how to do it yourself. Plus, if you know how to check the oil dipstick, you could prevent your engine from serious damage. If you see that your oil is low, add some more to keep the engine running smoothly. If you don't know how to do this simple check, you run the risk of running low on oil and possibly destroying your engine. You also need to learn how to use a tire gauge to check your tire pressure. Improperly inflated tires could lead to a blowout, causing you to steer out of control. Underinflated tires could also result in your vehicle getting fewer miles per gallon of fuel. Check out the basic car maintenance bonus section to learn more about tire pressure and other vehicle maintenance. Once you've made all necessary checks outside of your vehicle, it's time to get inside and do the same. So, are you ready for your first lesson?
You bet. It's time to hit the road.
Now hold your horses. We're not going to leave this parking lot during your first lesson.
Because it's Adam's first time getting behind the wheel, it's safer to practice in an empty parking lot rather than entering the roadway. He may be able to shake off some jitters before encountering other drivers. I would recommend all first-time drivers practice in an obstacle-free environment, such as a vacant parking lot. Let's watch and see how they do.
Now, before we start the car, let's adjust the mirror so that you can see as much as possible on the outside, eliminating your blind spots.
And how do I do that?
First, place your head against your door window and adjust the mirror outward so that you can just barely see that side of the car. This will allow you to see the cars on your left side that you can't see from your inside mirror.
All right, it's all set.
All right, now, place your head in the middle of the car and adjust the passenger side mirror so that you can just barely see that side of the car.
So this will allow me to see the cars next to me on the passenger side, right?
Exactly. Now all you have to do is adjust the rear view mirror.
My dad is teaching Adam the blind spot and glare elimination, or BGE setting. The inside rear view mirror becomes Adam's primary mirror, while the side mirrors are used for side views only. The BGE setting will eliminate most of your blind spots. With the BGE setting, there are only 4 small blind spots, but none are big enough to hide a car. Since there are over 500,000 lane change and merge accidents occurring each year, eliminating blind zones is critical for collision-free driving. Watch what happens when the trailing vehicle changes positions on the roadway. The trailing vehicle is a few car lengths away from our car, and no matter which lane it travels in, we can always see it through our inside rear view mirror. Now the trailing vehicle is pulled up nearly directly next to our car in the left lane. With the BGE setting, the driver's side mirror shows us the car as it approaches. The same is true for the passenger side mirror if a vehicle is approaching us in the right lane. By using this setting, you'll never have to take your eyes completely off the road ahead to check for traffic. You've also reduced the amount of glare from headlights when traveling at night.
Okay, Dad, my mirrors are set. Can I please start the car now?
Wait a minute. Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, right.
Now make sure that it's comfortable. This will keep you securely in place and give you better control of the car when steering. This is the first thing you need to do when you get into the car.
Okay, Dad, I got it. I've only been riding in the car with you for 15 years now.
Whoa, time out. We all know what's going to happen
I can't believe
here.
You didn't want to put your
My dad's
seatbelt
going to
on.
freak
How
out
many
and
times
start
have we told you
lecturing
that you gotta
Adam.
have your seatbelt on
Adam's
before
going
we
to
go
become
anywhere.
annoyed and roll
That's
his
fundamentals,
eyes.
mister. If you're
Dad's
not gonna
going to
listen,
threaten to
we're
end the
not gonna
lesson
drive
before
today.
he even gets to start the car.
I'm sorry, Dad.
And Adam
I'll
will
cut
offer
the
an
attitude and
insincere
listen.
apology so that he can drive. Every effort should be made to avoid conflicts like this. Adam and my dad each made mistakes. My dad made the first mistake by beginning to lecture Adam. Teens are lectured all day at school. They don't want the same treatment from their parents. Eventually, they'll become annoyed and tune you out. Adam shouldn't have snapped back at my dad, especially by saying that he's watched him for 15 years. So what? Chances are you've watched your parents make mistakes for 15 years. You may have picked up their bad habits. You've seen a lot of driving, but you don't know nearly enough to dismiss your parents. Because you've watched drivers making errors for years, you need to start with the basics, like wearing your seatbelt. My dad stressed wearing a seatbelt with good reason. The stats don't lie. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 2/3 of all passenger vehicle occupants killed in car crashes weren't wearing seatbelts. Seatbelts reduce the risk of fatal injury by 45%, and teens have the lowest seatbelt use rate of all drivers, with a rate between only 70 and 79%. There's not one good reason not to wear a seatbelt, so be safe and strap up. Hopefully, Dad and Adam have had a chance to calm down by now.
I'm sorry for lecturing and yelling at you. Let's put it behind us and keep on going.
Sounds good, Dad.
Okay, it looks like you're in park. Go ahead and press the brake with your foot and start the car. But before you turn the key the whole way, do you recognize any of those warning lights?
Yeah, that's the warning light for my airbag, and that's the one for my check oil level.
It's not safe to drive a vehicle if you don't know what all the symbols and warning lights mean. Some of the most common symbols include the hood release, the horn, and the front windshield defroster. Some of the most common warning lights include the battery warning light, the low oil pressure warning light, and the seatbelt reminder. Before driving your car, check out your owner's manual for a complete list of all symbols and warning lights. Please take the time to learn these simple symbols and warning lights before driving anywhere. You need to know what they mean so you can take the proper action.
What was that?
Oh, a few books I had in the back seat. They shouldn't even been up here. They should have been in the trunk.
It looks a little rough out there. His initial problems with braking remind me of one of the most important factors of driving: vehicle balance. Vehicle balance refers to the vehicle's weight distribution on the tires. Dramatic shifts in vehicle balance may cause items inside of your car to fly all over the place. These flying objects could easily distract you and interfere with your driving mechanics. That's why you should always keep loose items in your trunk. New drivers typically have difficulty maintaining proper vehicle balance, which results in a large number of accidents. Accelerating, braking, cornering, or any combination of these actions causes a shift in vehicle balance. Watch what happens as I accelerate. Accelerating or releasing pressure from the brake causes vehicle balance to shift towards the rear of the vehicle. When braking or releasing pressure from the accelerator, the weight of your vehicle will transfer to the front. Vehicle balance also shifts from side to side. If you are steering around a turn to the right, you may feel a shift in balance to your left. When steering around a turn to the left, you may feel a shift in balance to your right. You may have already known that your vehicle and body shifts a certain way whenever your car brakes, accelerates, or takes a curve. But what you really need to know is why vehicle balance is so important. Passengers inside your car could get jerked around enough that their heads hit a window or other hard surface in your car. Dramatic shifts in vehicle balance can ultimately lead to loss of control of your vehicle, potentially resulting in serious injury or death.
See? It's not as easy as you might have thought. You need to smooth things out in order to maintain proper vehicle balance.
And how do I do that?
Well, it all starts with proper seating behind the wheel, and I think we've got that pretty much covered. You've got your seatbelt on, your shoulders are square with the steering wheel, and the top of the steering wheel is aligned with your shoulders. And you've allowed at least 10 inches between your body and the steering wheel.
To reduce the risk of injury if the airbag deploys, right?
That's right. Now, do you know where your hand should be on the steering wheel?
At about 10 and 2 or 9 and 3.
Exactly. This improves your steering stability. Proper seating is so important, Adam, because it allows you to comfortably see the road ahead of you and detect shifts in vehicle balance through body movements.
All right. I think I'm ready for another try.
Now hold on, Adam. I noticed a problem with your footing while we were driving around in the parking lot, and I think this is the most obvious reason for your shaky start.
What? It's not like I'm driving with both feet or anything.
No, but you were completely lifting your foot when moving it from the brake to the accelerator and vice versa. Now, go ahead and put your foot on the brake. Now, instead of lifting it, keep the lower half of your foot in place while you pivot back and forth between the brake and the accelerator, using only the upper half of your foot to press the pedals. With this pivoting method, you can make fine adjustments in pedal pressure, eliminating some of your jerkiness.
It feels like a pretty smooth transition.
Exactly. Okay, now cover the brake and go ahead and put the car in drive. We're going to work on your acceleration. The key here is light acceleration. Now do the pivot and move your foot from the brake to the accelerator, pressing it lightly to gradually increase your speed. Now, do you see how that works? It minimizes the shift in weight, keeping the vehicle more balanced than it would be if you quickly push the pedal to the floor.
Okay, so what about braking? I still can't get the hang of that.
Well, it works just like acceleration, but you have to make sure that you use a controlled, steady approach. Now let's come to a slow stop. Push the brake slowly and steadily. Oh, that was a lot better than before. Granted, deliberate hard braking is necessary at times, but you gotta remember that the harder you push the brake, the more difficult it is for you to steer your vehicle, and the more likely you're going to lose traction between your front and rear tires. Now, let's go ahead and try that turn up ahead on the right. The key here is to complete braking before the turn. Because braking shifts the balance of your vehicle, it is much safer to brake while your wheels are still straight. As you begin turning the wheels, you should no longer be braking. You'll have much more traction during the turn, and you can smoothly accelerate through the turn. As we continue to work on all of the things that we practiced already, you need to also identify targets in your path of travel.
Targets? Path of travel? This is just new vocabulary for one of the most important concepts in driving: scanning. A target is a fixed object that appears 20 to 30 seconds ahead in your path of travel. Safe driving requires that you continuously search to the left and right of this target. This is called your target area. Take a look at an example. If you were the driver of this vehicle, you could decide to use an exit sign ahead as your target, since it's in your intended path of travel. With the exit sign as your target, you would visually search the areas to the left and right of the sign. Again, this is your target area. When doing this, you're trying to identify any changes that might affect your path of travel, such as other vehicles entering or leaving your lane. The key is to constantly pick a new target 20 to 30 seconds ahead of you. Essentially, every second you drive, you're picking out a new target about the same distance away. Searching the target area ahead of you allows you to make safer decisions while approaching your target. If you witness potential hazards such as construction zones or pulled over vehicles, you'll be able to slow down and take proper precaution in plenty of time. Basically, you can't stare at the road ahead. You should constantly be shifting your focus and scanning the area between your car and where you're headed. With practice, this will become second nature. Before you leave your parking lot practice course, you should also be aware of the 5 lane positions you may use when driving. Learning each lane position is necessary in order to understand explanations of other driving maneuvers later in the program. Lane position 1 will be used the most often. Your vehicle is in the center of the lane, about 3 feet from the left and right lines. Lane position 2 is used when there is something blocking your path of travel in the right side of your lane. Your vehicle is 0 to 6 inches away from the left line. Lane position 3 is used when there is something blocking your path of travel on the left side of your lane. Your vehicle is 0 to 6 inches away from the right line. Lane position 4 is used when passing or changing lanes to the left. Your vehicle will temporarily straddle the left lane line. Lane position 5 is used when passing or changing lanes to the right. Your vehicle will temporarily straddle the right lane line. Remember, lane position 1 is the most common and typically the safest position under normal circumstances.
Good. You remember to set the parking brake. Now, I know we're in an empty parking lot, but when you're on the street or in a busy parking lot, you have to make sure that you check for traffic before getting out of the car.
I know, Dad.
Well, it could have been a lot worse. I should have given Adam better instructions on braking and accelerating before I even let him put the car in drive. But he learned from his mistakes.
I didn't think I'd be so nervous. Everyone makes it look so easy.
I think he now knows that driving isn't as simple as he expected it to be. And I think we'll keep on practicing in the parking lot for a few days before we actually hit the road.
I'd love to actually drive somewhere, but I'd understand if we practiced a bit more. I'd much rather screw up in an empty parking lot than on the street.
Sure, I was nervous, but you can't let your kid know that. It will just make them more nervous.
Dad was all right. His tips obviously helped me, and he wasn't that annoying.
It looks like my dad and Adam had a good lesson. Remember, it's a great idea to practice in an empty parking lot until both the parent and the student are completely comfortable with entering the roadway. There's no reason to hurry into something you're not prepared for. Just take your time and enjoy the experience.